everybody, welcome back. Thanks to everybody who commented and gave me some support when I really needed it for the posts on my wall on my Facebook page. That's why we're here. That's why I'm doing this, because we all understand each other. We've all been through this in one way, shape, or form, and it's so important that we have a community, if you will, of people who understand us, who can truly relate to all this. Because if you haven't been the victim of a narcissist, of NPD abuse, then you really can't relate. We all have, hopefully, people in our lives who listen to us, who support us, who can be there when we truly need them to lean on. If they haven't been here, it's really difficult to relate to it. So I really appreciate everybody's comments and support and feedback when I truly, truly needed it. I did see my therapist this morning. It's upsetting to me when I think that I've come so far, and I truly have. I'm in a wonderful place in my life. I'm very happy, very grateful to be where I am. I'm with a truly wonderful, loving, sincere man who cares about me and protects me. I couldn't ask for more. When I'm faced with these memories, with these thoughts, with having to deal with this situation, I realize how far I have to go yet. And it is disheartening. It is difficult to accept. And you just keep going. I had somebody ask me specifically, how do you let go? How do you let go of that person? I can understand that that is difficult when you maybe still care for this person, when you're still in a stage where you're still feeling love bombed, when they're still lying to you and feeding you things that aren't sincere, that aren't really truthful. You just have to know they're not going to change. If you've already recognized that they're a narcissist, if that's why you're watching this or why we're already friends on Facebook, and you know that person's a narcissist, you must know they're not going to change. They changed for a very short period of time, a couple of weeks, a month, whatever it is, they're going to go right back to their true selves. And their true self is being a narcissist, being self-centered, being uncaring, gaslighting you, stonewalling you, putting you down, just using you as supply for their own egos. It doesn't go away. It doesn't change. People like this have to undergo very, very, very serious, intense help and therapy and whatnot to try to get past this. And that's only if they're willing. So to just throw words around and say, I'll change for you, I'll do this and I'll do that, it's not going to happen. They're not going to change. They're going to move right on to the next person. Whatever they did to you, however they treated you, is however they're going to treat the next person, and the person after that, and the person after that. That's the vicious cycle that I was on for years. I left mentally and emotionally years before I left physically, because I knew it was a losing battle. I knew I would never get what I wanted out of that relationship. And once I came out of that phase of realizing that, I was asking for a fairy tale, I was asking for things you only see in movies, I was asking for something that was unrealistic. When I realized that wasn't the case, I made up my mind to not stay in that relationship. I just didn't know how it would end. I didn't know what the last straw was going to be. I didn't know what it was going to take. And so they don't change. They just keep tearing us down. As I said before, they're human wrecking balls. On a day like today, when I've spent time with my therapist, I realize how much damage they've done. I realize how much internal work I have left. I can build up the outside. I can move on. I can live my life daily. I can be grateful and thankful and happy and productive. I can enjoy my days and the people that are around me and the experiences that I have. But internally, I am rebuilding. Internally, there's still a lot of rubble. That is the result of having been with a narcissist for 24 years and having a narcissistic parent as well. I'm still rubble on the inside. We all are, if we've been there, if we've been with someone toxic, if we've been around someone toxic. Our stories might be a little bit different. It's alarming how sometimes they're very much the same. It's almost like we were dealing with the exact same person. Our stories are different. Situations were different. The lengths of our relationship vary. The end result is the same. We're just reduced to rubble that we have to slowly rebuild. We have to slowly sift through it, decide what's good, decide what we want to keep, decide what to discard, decide what we can do without, decide What is still truly important to us? What do we want to try to hold on to? What do we want to try to salvage? Do we want to piece it back together? Do we want to try to save it? Do we want to try to salvage it? Or do we just leave it there in that pile and move on? Do we just discard it and forget about it? Is it even necessary to move forward? Do we want those remnants? Do we want those memories? It's a lot to think about, and it certainly is a lot to sift through. When you start that sifting process, it really wears you down. It really wears you down. It takes a lot out of you. It takes you back to a place that you really don't want to go. But I think that sifting process is necessary for all of us, and we'll all do it at our own pace. We'll all do it in due time. And fortunately, we all have each other to lean on, turn to for support and for some guidance from time to time. But in the end, they leave behind a pile of rubble. So if you're having difficulty leaving that situation, if you're having difficulty leaving a toxic person, know that your life will change immeasurably. It will improve. The onset might be a little unnerving. It'll feel very different. You'll feel, like my therapist said, like a fish out of water. But that is very soon, very quickly followed by a wonderful sense of peace. Peace that you don't have to tiptoe. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to please that person, which you never will. You can stop trying though. You can stop trying to reach this level of perfection that you'll just never achieve. I mean, we've all been there, I think, for the most part. And it wears you down. It tears you down. It wears you out. It ages you. It wears on you physically. It'll cause you physical ailments. I've heard that many, many times, and I know what it did to me physically, and I know how I feel now and where my mind is and how peaceful my life is. So if you're in that place, if you're trying to leave, if you're thinking of leaving, if you've already identified that person as a narcissist, if that's why you're here, if that's why you're watching this, or that's why we're already Facebook friends, know that that person will not change. That person is not going to change. Whatever they've done, whatever they've said to you, however they've treated you to this point, it's not going to get better. It won't improve. And if you are just on the verge of leaving or trying to separate yourself somehow, you have to accept the concept of no contact and embrace it and do it. No contact. They'll try to manipulate you. They'll try to call. They'll try to contact you. They'll do whatever they can, because as long as they have contact, they have control. That's how it's always been. It's control. And that's why we end up in those situations, because we've allowed them to control us. So any kind of contact is going to give them control. So if you're right there, you're right on the edge, know that you have to be ready to go no contact completely. It'll be a struggle. And that's when all the questions roll in, and that's when you start questioning yourself, and all of the doubt that they embedded in us surfaces right after you go no contact. It's hard to listen to people. It's hard to trust in people. It's hard to understand that there are people that are in your life that are sincere when you go no contact, and the things that they tell you are truly for the best, and they're for you so that you're healthy and you're free of that person. So it's a big, bold move. But if you're ready and you're right there, you've got to do it, and you got to make it no contact, period. It's a huge move. It's a huge step. You'll know when you're ready. You'll just know. You'll feel it. And if they have any sense of you leaving, then it gets really bad. That's what my narc did to me. He drove me out of my mind. It was just this just days, weeks of hot and cold, just rages, and then poor me, and rages and poor me. And it was never, oh, I love you, please don't leave, or, I can't be without you. It was nothing like that. It was, oh, feel sorry for me, don't leave me. Or it was, you lousy so-and-so, screaming and yelling, and how could you, and look at all the things I did for you. And it drove me out of my mind. It drove me out of my mind. It made me that much more desperate to just get out of that situation and leave that house and leave him and be away from him. And I've been away from him for 13 glorious months and counting. I still have my narc counter going. So it takes time. It's like I said, it's a big, bold move. You got to make up your mind to do it, and then stick to the no contact. In the end, we're all sort of in that same place, sifting through the rubble of our own little messes, that are wrecking balls left behind. But we're here for each other. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate all of the feedback that I get. I do my best to answer all of it. I just found some messages in a long forgotten inbox that I didn't even realize I had, and I apologize if you're watching this that I didn't get back to you for such a long time. I didn't realize those messages were there. But everybody that contacts me is truly important. I've been there. I know what it's like. I know how it feels. I'm still dealing with it right now and working my way out of it. Please continue watching, continue leaving comments. Make sure you find me on Facebook, Nora Rodriguez, Narcissist. Like the page, friend me. Facebook doesn't like me running around friending everybody. I want to be everybody's friend that I think could use the support, but I really need people to send me those friend requests if you want to be on my page. And I do share more than I do on than I do on my public page. So please make sure you do that. And everybody who is dealing with this and maybe struggling right now, keep your chin up. We're all in this together, and we will all get through it. Till next time, take care.